Can we go from this to this in just 2.5 days?
So it looks like we're back to another bench for Jeff this time, huh?
Yeah, I'm excited to be back in the shop, and the forever bench that we built last year, approximately a year ago, has just been a dream to work on, and something really great addition to my shop. But one thing I was lacking was a proper outfeed table. I think the past year I've been working on some plastic sawhorses with an old butcher block top just sitting on top of, and it got the job done for a little while, but it's not a long-term solution. So when I was back in the shop here last year working on Kevin's outfeed table, it was just a dream to work on, and I just kept going back to that, and I decided that was what I wanted in my shop too. So
what you see here is a whole pile of lumber to get started on that, right? So a lot of this is the top. These 4 slabs here are just that, they're slabs. So these he did his homework at home, which helped out immensely, right? That saved us a lot of time. We are kind of limited in the shop, and we just got a little over 2 days, I guess it is. We can get a lot done in 2 days, especially with all this work done ahead of time. So yeah, we'll get slabs and legs and all that. This will have an African mahogany base in it, just like your bench does. It'll be very much the little brother to the forever bench, right?
Yeah.
So if I haven't already, I will put pictures up here of kind of the plans and some lumber piles and things like that. This is just the maple for the project. I have a whole pile of African mahogany over there for the pile, and we have several sheets of sheet goods, 3/4, half, quarter. So all the material is here. I doubt we can build this in 2 days. We'll give it a good college try and at least set it up to where you can take it home and accomplish drawers and things like that you're comfortable with. And you don't need the extra help wrestling these large slabs. So anyways, we're gonna start with milling some legs because it all starts in the base. We'll probably get this stuff out of our way for now and then get going on milling a base.
So as I said, this whole mostly first day is breaking down rough material. And I like to do that to length with the jigsaw and then rip it oversize at the bandsaw. We can do final cleanup at the table saw, but this is just a safer way to perform this operation. And of course next is glue these up so we can get them drying in clamps in preparation to take all this stuff for final milling. Well, it certainly took 2 of us to wrestle these humongous slabs through the joiner and through the planer, and then of course back to the joiner again to get a final edge. So this joining process is absolutely critical at this point to make sure that the slabs come together nicely. Even though we use the domino for alignment, if we wouldn't have made those passes at the joiner, we would have ended up with some gaps and some seams. So with our leg material ready to come out of clamps, we'll go ahead and take it over to the joiner first, where we'll get one face dead flat and one edge at a perfect 90 degrees to that face from there. After that, we'll take it over to the planer to finish up the other 2 edges, giving us a really nice 3.5 inch square leg. We also went ahead and we're milling all of the rail material about the same time, so we're just cutting those to final width at the table saw. We're using the Festool TS75 to trim the slabs to their final length, but the 75 wouldn't quite reach, so we had to finish it off with a flush trim saw.
All right, so there's the end of day one, right? That was a long day. I think we were close to 12 hours in the shop. We got the legs, they are all down to final mill, so that's great. We'll still check them before we do anything with them. Your tops, we got them pushed through all the equipment and cleaned up. We got all of the rough rail stock all milled up and ready to go tomorrow to get the length and all of that. And we built the gap stop and we trimmed your slab. So really, that's
a good first day.
Learn anything new today?
Yeah, always. There's always little things, even if I think I know what I'm doing, there's little tricks and stuff that makes life easier, and I learned a bunch of those today.
Slabs were kind of heavy going through the
yeah.
Tired of wrestling slabs?
Yeah, and I mean, it ended up being about 60 by 50 inches, so it's a big top, and it's really heavy, 3 1/4 inches thick, so it's going to be a
3 1/4 or 3 1/2.
I think we're about 3 1/4, yeah.
Okay. Well, that's cool. And then the gap stop here was just kind of a last minute throw together as we were waiting for glue to
get it done, huh?
But we didn't build this any different than we did on the Forever bench. It's built to kind of match that, although I think you mentioned we went with 2 plugs in this one. I think we only did 1 on the Forever bench.
Yep.
So, my bad, I forgot.
I don't think it really matters. It looks good both ways, so.
Yeah, so we're gonna get this off here. We're gonna wrap this one up for tonight. We'll be at it again in the morning, and we'll start identifying where legs go and all that good stuff, and start getting the base underneath this bad boy so you can take it home.
Yep.
All right, so a little slower start this morning. It was kind of nice to sleep in a little bit.
Yeah.
And of course we had a lot of layout to do, right? So all the legs, we know where they go, and we flip these all over the place for the best look, right?
Yeah.
And we've cut top and bottom rails for the front and the back to their final length, and we're getting ready to set up on the domino. You ready to shoot some big dominoes?
Sure am.
These are the big ones. These are 14 by 140s that we're going to put in this frame, so it should be plenty beefy to hold anything you throw at it. Mm-hmm. So there we go, a lot of domino work, right? That took us a while to get all that laid out, but I think it looks pretty good.
Yeah, it's very intricate just to put together all the pieces and squareness and get all the clamps set up, but yeah, I think it's going to look great.
And I think this really is going to be the clamping strategy for putting this together. We're probably going to do it in a couple of sub-assemblies, doing the front and the back and making sure they're square, and then we'll come put in the center stuff. And we're finally going to get these slabs off of this table so we can work on this table and not mess up all the sanding you did last night. So, but yeah, base is all just dry fit with the big dominoes, but we're finally there. Moving forward. Ready?
Yep, let's do it.
So this table will have a bench crafted leg vise in it. So it was important that we go ahead and prepare that leg to accept that vise before we did the glue up, because it would just be very difficult later. Alrighty, so that took us the better part of the day, right? But we did get it glued up, and we added the first internal in here. This is more just to help with our glue up and keeping everything square. And I think we were, within like less than a 1/16 of square?
Yeah, it's pretty good over that size.
Yeah, over the size and how beefy this is. So we did a little tweaking and pulling and whatnot, but we got it pretty close. We also cut in for a future bench crafted leg vise to go in here, so that's ready to go. And we're going to hang out tonight, and we're going to put the rest of the internals in. And they're just some cross supports in the bottom to support the cabinets, as well as just a couple of cross supports in the top to help support the top, but nothing super crazy and fancy, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, we're gonna put these in. That's gonna wrap it up, I think, for day 2, right? Except for putting some internals in. You and I will still be here for a little bit, but
how about the top? Are we gonna cut for?
I doubt we'll cut for the top tonight. We'll probably cut for the top in the morning. So there's nice of you to leave a cliffhanger like that, right?
Yeah.
How we do it, right? Because we are going to do something different for this top. You notice we didn't cut any tenons in the legs to mount the top. So we are going to do something a little bit different. And that should be cool. So yeah, we will see you guys in the morning. Sorry there wasn't a whole lot of video today, but it was a whole lot of domino cutting and cutting to length and just fitting and gluing and putting things together.
Massive glue up.
It was a big glue up, that's for sure. Good thing we had dinner first. Huh?
Yeah.
So, all right guys, we'll see you in day 3, even though we've only got like a half a day to work tomorrow, but we'll see you in day 3. Okay, so day 3, we kind of forgot to get the camera rolling when we first got out here. Stuff happens because we just started putting in a little bit more internal stuff, give us something to screw this cabinet down to. So I think it's going to come out day 3. We're a little shortened today, right? Because you got a long travel home and you'd probably like to unload this while you still got a little light and can recruit some help, right?
Yeah, I got a 3.5 to 4 hour drive ahead of me. But.
Yeah. So the problem we ran into is this leg back here moved on us just a little bit. Wood moves, but it's about 1/8 of an inch out. So it's going to be a bit of a wrestle to get this cabinet in. But this cabinet is what we're going to build next. We're just going to build it out of 3/4 inch Baltic birch plywood and then wrestle that bad boy in there and then see how that squared up our tops, right? And have a look.
Yeah, time to play with some plywood.
Yeah.
After cutting the plywood to width at the table saw, we cut it to length with the track saw and added a rabbet to accept the 1/2 inch back panel. The box was then assembled with screws and the back panel was installed using a little glue and some pin nails. We went ahead and used the domino to locate a domino in each corner of the bench. This would allow him to remove the top and transport it to his home and be able to reassemble it later with the slabs falling exactly where they should be. So the only thing left was drilling the dog holes as well as the holes in the leg for the holdfasts and giving those a nice little chamfer. So all in all, I'm pretty impressed with the amount of work we got done in just 2.5 days. Sure, it would have been nice to finish this, but I think it'll be a good project for Jeff in his near future to get this bench finished up. So until next time, guys, take care.